Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Pluribus episode 2. Can you believe it? It's been an entire week for you guys and not us, because I think it's been, I don't know, like 4 or 5 days or something. But we are here to talk about the second episode. Now, for you, it's probably been such a long time since episode 2 came out and you watched it. So I'm going to give you a nice recap here that I've written down, somewhat formally, somewhat informally. And I'm going to read this out and then we can talk about it. So, in episode 2, we follow one of the hive mind people as they take part in basically the cleanup effort of all these dead people. They end up being sent to Carol, who is burying her dead girlfriend, and then Carol freaks out at her, and then we learn that it's very tough for the hive mind to process their emotions, so everyone freezes and millions die. And then Carol meets up with the other English-speaking people, and most, if not all of them, have people that they care about who are like part of the hive mind. And then they go on Air Force One and they have like a conversation there, and no one seems to be siding with Carol. And then was he French? The guy with an accent? I don't know if it's French or not, but he had a French accent seemingly, but he could be something else, I guess. He asked Carol for permission to have sex with that lady. But at the end of the episode, she's basically like says whatever, and then at the end she changes her mind and stops them. So that's this episode. Anything you want to say, Kyle? I'm here joined by someone else, if you can believe it, guys.
That was truly somewhat formal and somewhat informal, leadery, but you know, that was very rude. You didn't even introduce me.
Yes. I'm just giving context to everyone, but true. Kyle is a YouTuber. He was here last time. I'm sure you know who he is, yes.
Long-time fan, first-time caller here to put my engagement in this evening. Indeed. And Alita, what a great recap you just did. I now remembered all the things that happened in this episode, and I frankly cannot believe that you knew that was Air Force One.
You know, I've seen House of Cards, so I know these things.
Fucking stupid Alita.
Yep.
You don't know what
I don't know much, but I know Air Force One.
What a Pentagon is. You don't know what that is.
That's that thing from 9/11. I know that.
True, they flew a plane into it, but that's only if you believe the official story.
Now, what do we want to start with? Do we want to start with overall thoughts, or do we want to start with predictions from last time? Because it was...
Oh, good, because Alita, that fucking first video hasn't come out yet, so I couldn't go back and check the predictions, which I would have if the first part was out. So I'm very glad that you did. So I think that might be a funny and regular place to start.
Yeah, so I briefly checked them. I haven't written anything down, but I have to say you were pretty accurate with some of them.
Me?
Yeah, at least I think we both made one prediction that we were both correct on, but they were both somewhat pretty obvious. The first one
I remember talking about burials.
Yeah, you said that like they're gonna help her bury the body or whatever, which happened. And then I said that kind of, yeah, and I said, oh, we're gonna learn about the like other people, or she's gonna ask them about them or something like that, and that kind of happened too. So you know, we're doing okay with this prediction stuff, but how well will we do next time? I have
what a predictable show.
True.
Let's drop it now. It is funny because I feel like the whole, period, I don't know if it's been a week since we recorded the last one, I kept thinking they're going to meet with these other characters somehow in this show, but it just doesn't make any sense how they could meet with them. And then like 30 minutes before I started the episode today, I realized that they can just keep the planes going. So of course they could meet other people. And then it happened. Yep. So I went on a little emotional journey. You know, I thought Pluribus was going to fall off. It was going to be very arbitrary because they were all going to be in the Americas or something and make it easy to catch up, but they didn't do that. So that's a very important thing to point out, Aliri. For what reason, we'll never know. Now, also, what was the other question?
Did I have another question? I don't think I did.
I don't remember.
No, I was just talking about predictions. Now we can talk about overall thoughts, I guess.
Did it fall off in episode 2 for you, Alita?
I loved it. It was great. I thought this was fantastic. Now, there's like, firstly, I like it generally. Secondly, it had some cool like hive mind stuff, which I like. I was curious if it was going to be like, I was curious how deep the show was going to go with it. They seem to have gotten somewhat deep so far, so we'll see if they use it anymore and interestingly later. But I thought it was cool here. Yeah, that's my general thoughts. But yeah, what do you think?
Well, Leadery, I'm sad to report that I think the exact same. You know, it was pretty good. We still like it, and it was interesting in parts to do with the hive mind. You're so smart, Leadery.
What a thought. Okay.
Did I sound like a hive mind for the second half of that sentence?
Not even a little bit, no. Why were you doing an impression or what?
No, but I decided I was after I'd said the second half of the sentence.
Right, because we said the same thing. I understand. That's very funny. Okay.
True.
Anyway.
It must be.
So I want to...
Don't worry, I'll just delete my whole note that says Air Force One where I was going to make fun of you for not knowing it.
Did they even say it? Like, or did I just know it? I don't even know. But...
No. And I was only like 90% sure it was until I watched the normies reaction and they laughed when it showed up and said, Air Force One, Air Force One. And then I said, oh, must be right.
Yep. I could tell from the rooms There's no planes like that with rooms like that. Or maybe there was. I have no idea. But
There was an upstairs on that plane.
that is true, but that's not that infrequent, at least back in the early 2000s. But
what does that mean?
I mean, when I was a kid, I went on a plane with 2 floors. It's not that crazy.
No.
Yeah, true. I don't think they exist that much anymore, which is kind of weird, but yeah.
There's only one plane in the whole world with 2 stories, and it's that plane.
Maybe. All right, Kyle, I need to talk about something important, which is that you have no context for something, which is kind of funny. Which is that...
I have all the context.
Okay, this opening scene... Actually, first I'm curious. What did you think about this opening scene? It's a pretty long scene. Very silent scene.
You know, Aliri, I thought that the lady in the thingy was an old lady, and it took me like 5 minutes after she showed up to realize that it was the same lady that was in Carol's backyard. What do you think?
I think that's very funny, but I picked it up immediately.
Because when they first show her face for a second, it looks like she's got like grey hair, but it's just because there's yucky stuff in her hair, and I was a little confused. But also, I don't know, it felt like the opening of the first episode. We're going to have some wacky openings where it's a little extended sequence. That's pretty interesting.
Okay, interesting. I thought it was very cool. I liked it. However, this is a Breaking Bad Better Call Saul thing, especially a Better Call Saul thing. Better Call Saul, especially toward the end of the story, but like I would say consistently throughout it, it had this thing that it was very famous for, which it has a cold opening. And it is usually a very like long like kind of scene, and you don't quite know what it is. Like you'll cut to something completely random, and it's like, what are we doing here? And the point of the scene is like, by the end of it, you're gonna figure out what they're like doing. I think they call it like a teaser.
Aren't they just in a courtroom?
No, absolutely not. Like there are scenes where it's like you open at this like plant and they're manufacturing something. Like what? What does that have to do with anything? Like why are we manufacturing something? And we're seeing the whole process here like laid out.
Because then somebody's going to slip and they're going to need to sue somebody. Obviously.
Well, that could be a thing, yeah. But I think for that one, it was like they were manufacturing some plaque that was like the mystery to something that was like at the end of the episode they revealed what it was. It was like, whoa, this is crazy. It ties into the beginning. This is awesome. So this was definitely one of those scenes where it's like we're trying to figure out like why are we following? Like initially you think, oh, okay, we're following this to see like what is the world like outside, and then you like she's flying and you're like, oh, where's she flying? Like what's happening here?
Well, Leary, initially I was like, is this our second young lady who's free? And then you're watching the behavior, and then you surmise that no, this is a silly hive mind lady.
Yeah, indeed.
And then another dude shows up and you're saying he's kind of is the way he's walking, hive mind walking, and then eventually he's hive mind walking, and then they're all very coordinated, Leary.
That is very true. Which I guess we can talk about the hive mind stuff. It is the craziest thing by far, and it just even crossed my mind, is that there's no need for communication. Like, it's literally a silent world now, because they already know what everyone... There's only, like, one thought in the world. There's no one to talk to, which is, like, a crazy thing. Like, outside of these, like, 11 people or whatever, there is literally... there is never needs to be a word spoken again, except for, like, a person speaking to themselves, I guess, which is what it would be if they spoke.
Speech is no longer necessary. Wait, it's now evolutionarily irrelevant.
I suppose, yeah. Which is just insane. Yeah, I don't know much beyond just saying I'd never predicted this, but it's like an obvious like thing in retrospect. Like, yeah, why would a hive mind talk to itself? It's silly.
Literally, there's a funny joke about women and what would they do in this world or something because they talk too much. Can you make the joke for me?
Oh, women, am I right? Oh.
I did it. What a chicken.
God.
That's what we be saying about this episode. Women, am I right? Because that dude be fucking them, but we're not up to that yet.
Yes. Well, I don't know. What do you want to talk about? Go. Anything else you want to say? I don't know. I don't have a structured thing here.
I'm sure that was an important thing to go over at the beginning.
I mean, it is. We meet this character who I think is referred to as the pirate lady, or I'm sure she has a name. What was it? She had a name. I don't remember what it was. Do you remember what it was?
Her name was. It started with F, and it was convoluted and foreign.
No, it wasn't that convoluted. It was short, I remember, but it was foreign sounding, I think.
It was at least 8 letters. 7 pounds.
It was like Scotia or something. That's like a place, though. I don't think it was that. I don't know what it was, but it was some name. Anyway, the point is that we meet a character that is representative of the hive mind. That is, I'm assuming, going to be like the representative. Like I feel like this is a character we're going to see a bunch, right?
She's our girlfriend, and it was very interesting, Aliri, because they selected her particularly because she was the girl from the book, but really because that's what Carol wants, and so that's interesting. And at one point I thought, we're not going to meet these other characters. What we're going to do is we're going to fall in love with the hive mind from a very cynical perspective. And that was very interesting. Now, maybe that'll still happen, but I don't necessarily think so.
Well, I think that's what's happening at the end. But it feels
Hold
so too
on.
early to have that be a thing. But
Oh yeah, the way you phrased the ending was not exactly what I thought, but you were probably right because I thought she was just like, this is just because I was reading in what I wanted to read into it. But I was like, oh, she doesn't want to be alone, and that guy was kind of cool, so she wants to go hang out with the guy. But it's
oh,
obviously because she wants to be with her new
well,
girlfriend.
yeah, that is
Um,
true. I could imagine that being a subversion though, whether it actually she is there for the guy. But I don't.
well, that
I don't
guy
know.
is very clearly has like a lot of character.
Yeah,
Um,
true.
and he's like entertaining and stuff. It's a good performance. I assume it's like an actor or something. So I feel like we're hanging out with this guy, and we're gonna. Now, what would be interesting is something I just thought is maybe we have a love triangle with us, that guy, and the
Hmm.
hive mind. Now that is pretty cool. Um,
Hmm.
but I do like that idea. I don't know. All the kind of love stuff was kind of interesting in this episode. I don't know where to start with it.
Well, I think.
The
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, initially the concept was interesting of like, I think I even talked about this last time when I compared it to like Shinji or something, where I was like, the hive mind was designed just to be interested in this one person or something, but obviously there's like 12 of them as we learn now, O'Leary. There's one
Mhm.
more. Also they got a drone that's looking down at her, O'Leary, so don't try to run
Yeah,
away.
that was cool.
What was I saying? Love. There's something about love. Do I have a whole
Shinji.
thing? True. This goes into the sensitivity thing, I think, because it's interesting because obviously giving him a face that is this girl is kind of humanizing them in some sense. And it like you're trying to figure out if we can like cause an individuality or something. Because there's like a moment where they're with the families and Air Force One is coming down. And like they all say something at the front, but then like the girl, the pirate lady, is like behind Carol and says like, "Oh, you could have had whatever you wanted if you just asked or something." And it seemed like quippy and almost individualized.
Mhm.
And also because it is individualized in some sort of aspect because she is literally not doing what the other ones are doing, which is like gawking at the plane, kind of.
Hmm?
Though I don't think this is the
Oh,
direction we're going.
well,
Um,
there's a lot of interesting things here. One is that like I think there's two elements. One is the no, what's like the best way to say this? It is okay. It's strange because this character we're seeing, firstly, they're not an individual. But the hive mind has the capacity to feign like individuality. Like the hive mind still has all the knowledge of all the individuals. So at any one point, the hive mind can revive one of those individuals, right? But they won't actually be that person. But seemingly to everyone
now
else,
that's
they will seem
interesting.
to be that person because they have all the
Do you
knowledge.
think they
Yeah,
could?
I think they could. Yes.
Because when they first started, like when she first started shaking, I'm like, oh, the hive mind is going to release this lady. So we have another character and she
Well,
will like have the
no.
experience of being part of it and will more reliably be able to talk about how good it is to the girl. Now, obviously, this wasn't what was happening, but I was like, okay, that's a very interesting thing. And then it was like the will could release somebody for a second. And then
I took it
also,
the
this
other
kind of
way.
played in.
Sorry.
Yeah,
No,
well,
that's not what I meant.
that's what I was saying didn't happen. So,
No.
but the
What I was going to say is that I don't. That's not what I was trying to say. I'm saying that they could pretend to do that. Like, I don't think they could ever. I
yes.
don't. Yeah. I think it's like they would pretend that someone has come back, but it's like you'll never know for sure. And yeah, what does it matter if you can't tell? Like,
Well,
yeah.
yes. I have a few things. Well, it doesn't matter if you can't tell thing is interesting. That's like a different part. I had a few things where I'm like, I'm almost certain, and I'm not that certain. Let's say 50%. That there's going to be a plot point where the hive mind starts acting weird or something, and something changes. And I think it's probably I don't actually know. I think maybe it'll be like for an evil thing, like it'll seem like it's trying to deceive, and it'll be very obvious, and it'll be immediately like scary. I feel like this is going to happen, and I think it's probably going to happen with Pirate Girl because we like her, and she's going to be around.
Yeah.
But that was like the thing where I was like, and then it'll try to like, this had something to do with individualizing somehow. Hold on, let me see. This is at my top point. At some point, they do become violent and start lying, and it's very evident that things are different, and it's very cool and scary. And then my other point was like, what if Carol started killing people? Like, what would they do?
Well, they keep reiterating your life is your choice, or like your own, or whatever. But
how?
Yeah.
I feel like that we'll probably test that limit at some point. And
yeah, because we already like teased it with the lobster thing. Like we can't find a lobster. Like there's nothing here. Like we try not to kill things. But like, how do you have a society where you're not killing things? Like, is that possible? And And like, what if that's not possible, then you have to make some compromise of your ideal. And if you make that compromise on your ideal, then like, what's to stop you from compromising on the ideal that these people should be left alone to live their lives? I could imagine it going down.
Well, they don't want to leave them alone, right? Because they do.
That is true. They want to understand them. Yeah.
So there's probably enough fruit in the world for everybody to just eat fruit, right, or something.
And if there isn't, you could focus the world to do that. Like you could produce more fruit.
You could focus the world on making fake meat or whatever, because I'm sure that has protein or whatever in it that meat has. I don't know, Alita. I didn't go to science school.
True. Well, I just thought of something. Oh my, this is gonna be. I can tell the show's just gonna be. Our discussion's gonna be like this. But what about we introduced this idea in this episode that they can't process the emotions because it is amplified, right? Like whenever Carol like lashes out at them, they're like they can't handle her negative emotions because it's like I would imagine it's because there's so many people who are like receiving them at the same time. Now, what if it's like what if it's a similar thing? Oh, I just completely lost my point. But it was like something. The idea I was trying to get at is something like what if an idea like they can't like when they try and if Carol presents them with a challenging idea. If it's something they can't confront because there's like a bunch of complexity or contradictions in it or something, and because of that they like change their philosophy or something, and like Carol has the capacity to do that in them because it's like because ideas aren't simple. Like it's not very easy to like have like a clean philosophy like we're gonna minimize killing because like what does that mean? Like why I don't know. I'm sure there could be like something more complicated there with like
because
how
they
people
did release
to
the animals, and then there was an implication that did get people killed.
Yes. Yeah.
Which was interesting. But they also don't take super hard stances, right? It was like, oh, we try not to kill things.
Yeah, like bugs, they're going to kill them by accident, but they're not going to try
They didn't say consciously, but they did have a word for it where it was intentionally, maybe? I don't fucking
Something
know.
like that, yeah.
They don't kill intentionally is in big and bold in my notes, Leary. Must have been that.
Mm-hmm.
But true, they've got some interesting principles. And it's also interesting because we're on a very tight timeline right now, as in it's only been like 2 days or something, right? And it'll be very interesting if we do skip like 6 months forward and there has been some sort of societal development because of the when everything's working good and correctly, the efficiency of the everybody being on the same side has taken us to astronomical new heights in just 6 months or something.
Well, it raises the question of like. What do they do? Like, what is their purpose? Is it just a spread? Like, is the goal now to build, like, go to other planets so we can, like, what do we do? Like, we're not here to, like, have fun anymore because there's only one of us. Like, what do we do? Like, what do they want? I guess to understand these people, I guess.
Do you think it becomes a servant thing? Do you think they would live to serve the, like, 11 people?
Yeah.
I guess that goes into sort of the sex stuff, which is kind of interesting, where I think we're supposed to think the sex stuff is icky.
Sure.
But it's not, because they seem to garner pleasure from helping the dude. And I don't know, I think it comments some interesting things on like sex and how we view it generally as like almost a favor that women do, in a sense where they probably don't really want to do it, but they value the relationship or something, and this is like part of it. Whereas that's like minimized now, and it also minimizes like the reputational like not resentfulness, the resolve, the not wanting to do something that could come with like them all having sex with this guy is like completely outdone because they're a hive mind. I think it's interesting because they do kind of go out of their way to make the point that like this isn't rapey. Though I guess you could speculate on that, but I don't think we're supposed to think our new favorite guy is a rapist. Though it is very funny that this is immediately what he did. And he did have a pretty girl in every color, both skin color and dress color. But I don't know. I am very interested in where like the immediate dynamic when we get on this fucking plane at the end. And where this goes.
Yeah, very true.
We're a bit scattershot here, Leary.
That's fine, okay. I think one more thing I also thought of when we were talking is if it does go in a direction where she does, like, Carol does find an interest in this particular entity in the hive mind, like this particular face of the hive mind in the pirate lady, what happens when she dies and is replaced by someone and is the exact same, just looks different? Like, is that going to be a thing we're going to do? Because I could easily imagine that. And the point is, like, she may have looked like someone, but, like, the appearance literally doesn't matter. And you're, like, it's, like, she's, the exact same. She just
No, I
looks
think they
different
would go
now.
in the opposite direction. I think the
Whereas like
appearance would end
appearance
up mattering a
is,
lot.
yeah, that could be
And
interesting.
it would, because I just thought of a thing is like, is her getting on the plane just proving that she's exactly like the dude? Because she is kind of in love with this girl, potentially, maybe.
Mhm.
Just because of the way she looks, right? And what that sort of
What's a combination?
reminds her of.
Mhm.
But then there is the other opposite thing of like the potentiality of falling in love with the hive mind, but that's like a completely separate thing.
Mhm.
But true, I think highlighting her vainness in comparison to the dudes, I think would be really interesting too.
Yeah.
Um, true, I don't fucking know.
Excellent.
We didn't really talk about the other humans, Alidari, besides the one dude.
My God, we hate them. They're all dumb. All right, but you know what? At the same time, there's one. Okay, God, there's like, okay, I don't like that
This
they.
goes into vainness thing, Alidari, and I'll forget if I don't scream it.
Go ahead, say it.
Because they're all kind of content because the people that look like their family members are like around them.
Yeah, that is true.
Which is interesting. So I don't know, because it is like because it's like a bait and switch, right? Because like what we're supposed to think intellectually as a society and to be good people is not to care about the vain outside aspects. And you should love your girlfriend even if she gets fat, because it's what's on the inside that counts, literally. But I feel like the show could be doing a funny little commentary where it's like, oh, it's actually all like the vain, how they look aspect or something like that. Because that could be said for her liking the girl. Obviously, the dude is very lustful in his ladies over here. Look at him. And also these people with their like families.
Yeah.
Because immediately it feels very weird. They're not freaking out. Like I expected them all to like run out of the plane and them to all get together and be exactly like Carol, but very obviously they're all completely not.
Yeah, they're happy. They're like, oh, you know, it could have been worse.
They're a little content.
Yeah.
One lady wants to join the thing. One lady seems to be in very deep denial about her kid. The other one is like just chilling.
Yeah, who's your favorite? Besides the main guy, I'm guessing.
One of the Asian ones. Well,
I like the old man.
We're probably all Asian. Yeah, the old man or the old lady, the
True.
Chinese-looking people.
Yep.
That sounded very racist the way I phrased that earlier.
Yeah.
Anyway, you made me say it. But yeah, they were both fine or cool. But then there was that one mean lady. Then all the normies wanted to literally fight her physically. So
true.
Cool.
Yep.
And then the one normie, Navi or whatever, translated what she said.
Wow.
Where
That's
she
actually
called her
crazy.
like a bunch. She just said it was a bunch of swear words.
That makes sense. Yeah. With these people, I think there's like two elements to it. One is the frustrating, like, they can't even acknowledge that it's like not their kids or whatever. When it's like you got to intellectually acknowledge this, right? Even if you don't accept it emotionally or whatever, like it's obviously like the hive mind is there and it's not really them. But by the end of it, I guess Carol demonstrates by asking about some surgery thing or something. But that's like
specifically like vagina related stuff.
Yeah, it was like
right?
something that a kid should know or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's like the frustrating element. But then there's the whole like moral element to it, which I think is more like understandable, which is like wanting to be part of the hive mind or like being okay with everyone being part of the hive mind, which is less frustrating and more like, oh, that's interesting. They like think that way, I guess. And that like places them in direct like opposition to our protagonist, I guess, so far. Yeah.
Well, I think this is like kind of the core question of the show, right? Is that how much are we supposed to intuit that obviously the hive mind is bad versus how much are we investigating like the immediate sense from us that it is bad and like maybe it is a good thing.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, I feel like every viewer is going to think it's a bad thing. And a lot of the visual language, especially immediately, was obviously kind of scary. That primes you for that. But that could just be part of the trick of the show, right? Of like, you just thought because we used a bunch of horror movie-esque imagery and stuff like that, you immediately assumed it was bad, silly guy. Or girl, Alidari.
Yes.
Now, I can't be sexist and racist in one video, Alidari. Jesus Christ.
Yep.
Now.
Yeah.
And I honestly don't know what the resolution is. I don't know.
I mean, we're way too early.
Yeah. I don't know. I can see her walking in line. She's going to be walking like him. Maybe she's not even going to get taken over, but she's going to like delude herself into thinking she is or something. I foresee a sad ending, Aliri. I don't think our great Carol is going to have a victory where she unplugs everybody.
I have no idea what the ending's going to be. I think like the thing is though, I talked to like about the lack of communication, how it's a silent world. that is a big thing to fight against. Like, how does the show us that a world like that is like worth living in? Where there is like you're just alone. Like, you're the only person. Like, you don't talk. Like, there's no talking to other people. Like, I feel like that's the main joy in life is like talking to other people. Like, if all you do is like like, it's just, it is weird. Like, I'm curious. The purpose thing is the thing to me where I'm like, what is the purpose of this world? Like, there are no friendships. Like, there is only one person in a hive mind world. Like, how do you fill your time? Like, like, how could this be portrayed as a good thing is what I'm just curious about.
In contempt, you're just in continual 100% bliss, Alidari.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I guess that could be a thing.
So, I guess there's two routes of like, well, why would they ever do anything? And well, right now they're trying to clean up the mess, right? It's only been 2 days, so that makes sense why they're going around doing things, getting the bodies and stuff like that. The other thing is there's 12 other people that they've got to be nice to because of their internal principles or something. So that's why they've got to do stuff. They got to cook these things or something. Then I guess the third one is like, well, they probably want to propagate this to any other planets if they exist.
or what happens with kids in this world? Like, they're born and they have all the knowledge of like the adults, and like, how does that work?
What's
like,
a baby like? That baby, remember that baby who's gonna fall off the counter, Alita?
Yeah. I feel like that's something we probably almost certainly have to explore. Like, it's eventually going to happen. I don't know if it'll be like if there's like seasons or whatever, like next season or something. Like, if it'll be later or it'll be this season or.
No, we got 9 episodes, Alita, no seasons. True. Now, I don't actually know that. That wasn't me stating a fact. That was me hoping. But also, I don't know. Maybe at the end I'll want another season, Illyri. Don't trust me.
Yeah.
So, Illyri, can babies not walk because they're dumb or because they don't have the muscles?
I would imagine the primary reason is because they're dumb. Like, it's a brain thing. But I also, at the same time, I would imagine it's probably both. But, yeah.
So, like, because I want to see a walking, talking 2-week-old baby doing something. That would be pretty fucking crazy.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
If not, put me on the writers team for Pluribus season 2 and we'll get it going. Yeah. Now,
like, well, the thing is, this is the actual thing, which is that, like, a baby, I don't think they're going to do it with a baby, but realistically, like, a 3-year-old, give it like the brain of an adult, and then I could imagine it, right? Like, they're going to have they can walk around, they can like talk, but they just can't, they're not like smart at all. They can't really form sentences properly. But if you give them like the mind of an adult, like, that'd be kind of crazy. Yeah.
There's like a baby in Who Framed Roger Rabbit that like grabs women's butts. So I can imagine it.
Okay. Maybe. I guess we'll see.
I'm trying to think of a baby that was walking around and talking. The only problem is you'd probably need some CGI and stuff like that, and that's probably difficult or something. And then it would probably just be easy to get like a 5-year-old that's probably a little creepy who knows everything. But then can you really coach them into acting the way that you would want them to act? I don't know, Aliri. I'm thinking logistics now. Get around it. This is Apple TV, Aliri. They make Severance. So they got to be good at this stuff.
Yeah.
Aliri, I wanted to pivot into guilt. What do you think about guilt and killing 11 million people?
I mean, it says a lot about her character, that she actually cares, I guess. Like,
True.
Like, I wouldn't care. Like, it wouldn't bother me at all. I'd be like, firstly, not my fault. Secondly, like, I mean, I don't really care. Like, these are people I don't know, but like, I don't know.
That's what I thought too, but she did vomit. And then also, the lady, like, shoves it in her face, which was interesting inferencing that the lady, obviously, after her grandfather died, was angry and asked how many other people were killed. And, like, she knew the exact number. That was cute little implications. But true. And also, there was a deeper question about, like, moral obligation of the hive mind or something. Because they seem to be sad at the fact that, like, 800 million people or whatever died because they were all driving when they took over.
Yeah.
Which is interesting, because part of it is because initially they came off as very like fake, not enthusiastic, not happy, but like carefree, I guess. You know, they sound like ChatGPT's first line to you after you ask them a question, Aliri.
Yeah.
But then they have moments outside of it. So I don't know, because there's also I don't know, Aliri. At some point, everybody's gonna be dead. It's just gonna be the Great Carol and the hive mind, and we're gonna get some characterization for this hive mind.
Yeah, true.
I don't know, Aliri. I'm just speculating over here. I'm saying perhaps.
Man, it is just like, I can't believe there's 7 more episodes. Like, what happens? Like, I could not imagine.
The one like thing I kind of know as like a idea for an episode hasn't happened yet, and I feel like I can now tell how that's going to happen, which is kind of interesting. And I can maybe infer some things from that, but not really. But if you know, you know. And when we get to that episode, I'll say, audience, you know I've been knowing. And
I look forward to it.
Be truing. They'll say that guy's truing right now.
Yep. All right, guilt. True, they're guilty, but they're also like they feel bad about it. But
Everyone feels guilty.
no one is happy in this world except for the hive mind people who are very happy. And the people
everybody
who have
else
their families.
except for Carol,
Yeah,
apparently.
I guess everyone is happy except for Carol. That is true. And maybe now she will be happy next episode, but I somehow doubt
there
it.
was a few metaphor things like that where I was like, oh, it's like when you're like upset and depressed, you feel like the only sad person in the world. And it's like, oh, that's kind of what's happening here. And then there was another thing. Oh, there were two others because I just made that one up. Metaphor for anger, true. She has to like keep her anger in check. It's like anger management or something, because if she doesn't, everybody's gonna freaking die.
True. Yeah.
There was another one which I think had to do with love or something, but I don't know if I wrote it down. So what am I? Oh, well, leader, I got a great factoid.
Oh, please go ahead.
The military discovered them at some point.
Oh, yeah, that was kind of cool. Yeah, like they said, it is. It's like it is that little like teasing of world building that I like, where it's like, oh, what about in space? Like it's like, no, we like targeted them first. Like, yeah.
We got those dumbasses.
Yeah, and then the military caught on to us, and I'm like, oh, it's so cool. Oh my god, will we get a flashback? I don't. I would love it. No shows ever do what I want, so I'm gonna guess probably not.
Wow.
Yeah, but it would be super cool though. But I don't think so. I feel like
I got a great one, Aliri. I got a great one.
All right, go ahead.
Do you think there's in any way that this show will have the dude get one of them pregnant and have the hive mind give the answer on abortion?
Yeah, yeah, that could be a thing.
Do they think the little embryo is alive, Alita? Thoughts?
That I don't know what would happen.
Those girls.
I feel like it is inevitable. Like that will happen eventually. And what will happen about it? I have no idea.
Because practically, it would probably be better if ladies weren't pregnant, because they don't really need kids anymore, I guess. So like, just practically, if a lady got pregnant, it would probably be good to give her an abortion just so she could work more.
Well, you need someone to make kids, though.
Do we?
Yeah, otherwise the hive mind dies out, and they don't want that, I would imagine.
I guess
they could develop cloning or something. Like, I don't know how far we're going to push the science element to any of this, which feels like the logical step.
Are we going to see the hive mind fucking itself? We did see that lady's butt.
Yeah.
But not her boobs.
Like, there is, I don't know, have you ever heard of Sense8?
That's like a show or something.
Yeah, that is a show. I only know about it because there's like a Doctor Who actor in it. But I haven't seen it, but I know there's there's a bunch of people. I think the premise is like a bunch of people and they're all connected, like their minds are connected. It's not like a hive mind like this, but it's like I think they're connected somehow. I know there's a sex scene in that. That's like famous for that show's famous for that. So that's what I think of whenever I think of like hive mind sex stuff. So I don't know. I guess it could happen. Like it's been done before. Did it. Yeah.
True. We don't want to be repetitive.
True. But will they have sex? Will there be abortions? This is all anything is possible in the show. Okay. Well, not anything actually. But most things are possible in the show.
A happy ending isn't possible.
True. That buried woman coming back to life is
true. I was just gonna say that, but I couldn't remember her name. But we like that lady.
Yes.
Later, I got another dot point. My eyes just
go ahead.
Crossed, and I said, "The medium is the message." What a genius!
In what sense?
The lady that Carol wants to kiss is the nice face of the hive mind or something. That was
funny because like. It is very cool. Like we see the setup of like she's nothing like the way she is like looking now. Also the fact that like her hair is a wig and we see the wig being prepared.
True.
Like, when she's having a shower. And
I only got that because the normies commented on that and I was like, oh yeah.
Oh wow. Yep.
Also, there's something very satisfying about watching all that gross water go down the drain. Alita, you agree?
No, not really. No.
I was like, oh my god, she's getting clean. You know, there's like a game called like Power Washing Simulator where you just like wash dirty stuff. I feel like I would like that game a lot, but it would definitely be bad for all of my productivity if I played that. So I want to see things get cleaned, Alita.
Yep. Like those high pressure water hoses that clean tiles or something, right?
That's power washing.
Oh, that is the same thing?
That's what you do. You brush the tiles and the walls or something. And then they did a crossover with like SpongeBob or something, and you got to clean the SpongeBob stuff. It makes sense.
What grand unison activity are we going to see, you think? Like, there's going to be like 1,000 people and they're all going to be doing the same thing. It's going to be like, whoa.
Hey, Carol. And they do the little thing where they become letters, you know, like in a stadium, you know?
That's true. That'd be
kind of
crazy.
Carol.
True. She's in a plane and she looks down. There's like 5 million people and they're all like forming that.
They realized what they did was entirely ethically unfeasible and they all collectively cut their own heads off, Alita. Oh.
Yeah, I actually could imagine something like that happening. Yeah. Holy.
Damn, are we gonna get the... I kind of like that they're nice, and that's like the conceit of the show. Like, what if the
Yeah.
apocalypse happened with zombies, but they were nice guys? Okay, cool. But like, them going sinister would be very scary, Illyri.
I feel like I said before,
It
they have
feels like it has to happen.
they have certainly set up the idea that Carol can influence these things. So I feel like it has to be more
That's
of a payoff
true.
than what's happened already. But it could just end here, I guess. But
There's a thing. We become perfect, which is something that guy brings up. You know, racism doesn't exist anymore. No more wars or robberies or murders or anything like that. And it's like, what if Carol is the bad guy? She infects them with her individual
Yeah.
pettiness and meanness.
Yeah.
And they start, oh, a big war, Alita. Are you going to see a war between two separate sides of the hive mind?
I doubt it.
What if it's our favorite new dude and Carol become like rivals or something, and they both command armies of mindless hive minders, and they're both standing on perches as they fight beneath them, and they call out commands.
I feel like this is not what the show is going to be, but you never know.
It's like Yu-Gi-Oh or something. That's
True.
epic.
You know what was really cool about the hive mind? The fact that like they verified that the water they were holding was good because they had the memory of the entire chain of custody of that water.
True.
The creation of it.
They
So
said
where it is
this
now.
guy, when he saw this bottle get filled up, he was pretty sure, to the best of his knowledge, that it was all good.
Yep.
And then she dumped it out. That wasn't nice, Leary.
Indeed, it wasn't. But you know what? I probably also wouldn't trust them, so I don't blame her.
If they wanted to get you, they're gonna get you, Leary. So drink the fucking water.
That is true. They have the CIA watching from above or something.
And they've already probably got access to the water. I'm pretty sure it's already in the water, Leary. The normies were right.
Yep. Okay. Why don't we take a brief aside here and talk about... There was an opening in this, like music and visuals and stuff. Any thoughts on that?
True. At first, I said, what is going on here? And then I realized, oh, that's a letter.
Yeah.
Makes sense. This is Pluribus. Now, did you know that the I in Pluribus is a 1?
I did, because I made the thumbnail for today's video, and it had a 1 in it, and I was like, oh, okay, interesting.
And plur is like plural, like multiple, and...
No, pluribus has a definition. I've heard people say it. I don't remember what it was.
No. Plural and bus, which means like everybody gets on the bus and they become one entity. So...
Should I look it up, what pluribus is?
Whatever,
Let's see. All right.
spoiled.
Pluribus is a Latin
spoiler.
term for many. So it's just, yeah, I guess that makes sense. But...
sounds boring.
Yeah.
Do you think that's where do you think they got the name bus from? You think they were thinking about pluribus?
Yes, I'm sure that's probably where it came from, because you can fit many people on a bus. Yes, but wait, more about this opening. It's an interesting choice. Because my interpretation would be that it is like to me it just looks like waves, right? Like waves of like particles.
It's like sound waves or something.
Yeah, exactly. It definitely looks like a sound wave, which is like, well, how does it tie into like what the show is about? I don't know. Like, what do we have to do with waves?
Maybe they only see through sound, and if she was very quiet, then they wouldn't discover her.
If I were to guess, it would be something more like these individuals combine to create something like a wave, where the wave doesn't ever exist. There is no such thing as a wave. But at the same time, it does at an abstract level. Whereas like the hive mind doesn't exist, but it does at the abstract level or something. I feel like that's probably what they're trying to convey, because waves aren't like real things. They're just like particles moving in a certain pattern. Which is cool. I like the idea if that's what they're going for. But yeah.
I don't know what a particle is, bro. So just keep that to yourself next time.
True. All right. Let me see if I have any notes. There's a counter going up still. Do you think that'll ever stop, or is that just going to be like this forever? Like the day counter.
Definitely. Good point, Alita. Good point. No, I think it's going to be a time skip mechanism for when we skip 60 years into the future and we've got a big city that looks different.
True.
Or maybe it'll just be 6 years.
I don't know. Who knows what it could be. I was gonna say like, oh, they can't go too crazy, because then like, how are you gonna build? This is like sci-fi shows that do future cities. Like this could become like a futuristic sci-fi. There's no reason it couldn't. Like
true, and also, what if like it counts back down, and counting back down is Carol has to blow up the whole Earth, because otherwise it's gonna spread to the next thing, and she's got to take him out. Well,
the counting down thing is interesting, because we have just assumed what this counter means, right? Like, we have assumed it is a linear countdown to when the world was taken over, and now we're beyond that. But it could mean something else entirely. I don't know what it would mean. But
there's a countdown to Carol, the person being planted. Because, in fact, all the 11 people that... 12 people, Illyri, they're all not real people, and the hive mind created them for some reason. And they were all born that day.
this would be a shocking revelation, but
And then their lives are just as fake or something, and that thematically ties into the fakeness or something.
All right, here's another, one of these many questions we've asked today. Do you think there's going to be like a big twist at some point or not? Because I feel like probably not.
It was all a dream.
Yeah, maybe. But we'll see.
Probably there's going to be some sort of a twist. They were evil the whole time. That's kind of a boring twist.
Hmm.
They
can revive the dead. Probably not. Who knows?
And then our girlfriend comes back. True. Also, Alita, this book shit is going to tie into it somehow. She's going to write the book, and the hive mind is going to be completely moved by the great story she wrote that she was insecure about, and that's going to change their minds. The power of stories. Bran the Bold or something.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think about it. It could happen. Like, there could be a thing where it's like, they help her write it or something, and I don't even know.
Did they finish it or something? No. Did the normie say something about this, about art and expression or something, and how obviously you wouldn't need it as a hive mind or something? Or did I just think this? There was some sort of point.
Just claim credit for it. You made that point. Good job. That's a very original
point.
But
I don't know what the point was.
I'm sure everyone listening right now, they know exactly what the point was, and they love it.
What is a point without a point?
Yes. All right, any other... What other notes you got on this? Anything?
What is a humanity without individualization? I guess it looks like
that is the central question, yeah.
Hey, did you like the funny joke where the guy that was swinging upside down dying said, "It's all right, Carol"?
Yeah, I thought that was funny.
There was another thing that I wanted to bring up before that was a little detail. Oh, what was it? I'm thinking about lobsters, but it wasn't lobsters. I'm thinking about... Oh, it's really hard to dig in your backyard if you've ever tried Alita. So that was very relatable, hashtag. You try to put that thing in, and like it's really hard to like put a shovel between the grass because the grass is all like connected, and you try to pull it up, and you're like, and you got to try really hard. And also, living in the desert seems cool, literally a little bit. Now,
it is a cool aesthetic, yeah. I don't know about living there, but
all the houses. There was an episode in Succession where they all went to a big house in the desert like that, and I said, that's a nice place.
Yep.
But also that was like a $20 trillion mansion, and this is just a nice little humble author house that probably cost only $2 million.
Yep.
That's how much money you got, Alita, you fucking bastard. Now give me some more patron dollars.
I wish.
Now...
Money is not a concept in this world.
True. They all just work together. I have to have it written down here somewhere, Alita. There's some other genius point. They're going to become violent. It's going to be shocking, Alita. My dude fucking... Would they do an abortion? True, I already said that one. The dude's got charisma, Alita. We like him. And there was something about... They said something about slavery, where they said they were the antithesis of slavery. And then, they couldn't make a choice because it would hurt either one of them. That was interesting. It would be interesting if they did have to make a choice and we sort of went through their thought process.
There could be a thing...
I'm never going to remember this.
This discussion is just me. I'm just thinking, this could happen, and there's probably none of this is going to happen, which is going to be very funny, but...
Don't worry, we got at least one thing kind of right, and the audience will soy out on it, and will sustain them through the rest of the speculation, for which they know is not going to become true.
Yeah. Like, another possibility is that they compute things,
3 months ago, O'Leary, this would have been great.
That is very true, if only. But yeah, they could compute it could be a computer, like a giant computer, and they have to like think, like it takes them time to figure stuff out, like how it took them time to figure out like where the 5 people are or whatever, or like how to...
True, she did have to take, like, they were asking everybody, and it took like a little bit, and she thought she was lagging out for real. That was interesting.
Like that, it could be that is a very like, there's a thing I've seen done in Doctor Who, for instance, where it is like, if you make someone have to think about something very complicated, they have to like pause, and if you do that to like a hive mind, it's like... Does the more complex the problem mean, the more of them have to be devoted to it, and like if that's the case, then it's like you just have to kind of like freeze, and like the whole hive mind freezes or something, and until they figure out the problem. Like it's interesting. They could do something like that. But yeah, yeah. What if this, if that? Yes.
If this, then that, then this, therefore that.
That's right.
That's how logic works, Alita. You wouldn't know about that though. I think I'm out of notes, Alita.
Wonderful.
Aren't you just so ready to watch the next one? I said this last time, and then it took me like 5 days.
Yes, I am ready. I'll probably watch it today, if I get
True,
time,
I did start downloading it before this, just in case.
Oh yeah, I didn't realize that it was like it was through Apple TV through Amazon Prime, so you have to have an Apple TV subscription linked to Amazon Prime to watch this on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. So I just downloaded it from Mr. Star's Plex server, but each episode is like 10 gigabytes because it's in 4K.
Yeah, you know what I did?
Which is
I
nice.
signed
It
up
looks
for
pretty.
an Apple TV subscription, and it's funny because at the beginning of every episode, or at least the one I've seen now, through Apple TV, they have a first they give you like a recap, and you press skip recap, which is fine, and then it shows you like an advertisement for the podcast. They're like, "Do you want to listen to the Pluribus podcast?" I'm like, "Skip."
No,
It,
no, no.
it is very funny.
This behind the scenes shit has got to stop. I don't want podcasts. I don't want HBO little thingies either. It's pissing
True.
me off. And frankly, we don't like it. And also, I don't get no recap.
That's good. All right. Anyway, any last minute predictions you want to make?
I already made so many.
That's right.
They're gonna have a party on this jet, Elitari, and it's gonna be epic. And that's Air Force One. I know you didn't know that, but
Yeah.
what the fuck is gonna be happening 30 minutes into this next episode, Elitari? Give me one thought. Are they just gonna be together? Because that's cool. I like this guy. That'll be fun. But like, I feel like we gotta go home, right? I feel like that home place is where we're gonna be. But maybe we go back there in episode 8.
I feel like the most obvious thing to do of like all that there's like so much potential in terms of what you can do with a hive mind. To me, the most obvious thing it feels like you can do is to have the deception, which I was saying before, about have an individual pretend that they are not pretend, have this pirate lady be different from everyone else, and Carol has to like try and believe it, try and convince herself that that's the case. So like for instance, next episode, if 30 minutes in or whatever, toward the end, she takes that lady to a house and they start living together or something. And Carol knows that's just part of the hype man, but she's trying to like accept that it is the individual or something. Like pretend it is or something. I imagine that could be a thing that could happen. Well, firstly, that's the thing that I think could happen early on, like in the season, and then you could like kind of get beyond it like later. But I have no idea what's gonna happen. But go ahead, yeah.
So, Elitari, in the situation where she has sex with the hive mind, which is going to happen 100%, do you think there's going to be like positive emotions or something, and that'll like have some sort of other effect other than having them spasm out, where it's like the negative one happens that? But what if she, as an individual, is able to make the whole feel so good or something?
Then they'll lock her in a box and keep her there forever.
Or they'll just keep her as an individual. But also, that other guy is already having sex with them, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
and
but he doesn't have that emotional intimacy that Carol has.
Now, this is true, Elitari, and we can be saying lesbians rule and straight dudes drool. I think you're supposed to say that the other way around, and the drooling comes first and the ruling comes after, for the effect of that point. But maybe just love, Elitari. Not everything's going to be about sex, you fucking freak.
That's right.
What if she gives him a compliment? No, somebody else has given him a compliment already, surely.
Yeah.
I don't know. Something's going to happen, Happiness and sadness will make them react. Maybe they, like, all start having glowing eyes and they power up like DBZ or something.
I doubt it, but you never know.
That would be funny, and the message is love is the most important or something. Yeah,
like at the end of the show, they put the text on screen and they're like, love is the most important. That'd be very funny.
Love is the way, and they play some cheesy Beatles song or something.
Yes. All right. I guess that's that, everyone. I hope you enjoyed all of this speculation for answers that you already have the answers to.
Time to go watch the next episode!
Yep. See you next week.
Next Tuesday.